This story is based on real historical events and on the experiences of countless young men who lived and died during the First World War. Although the characters are fictional, their suffering, doubts, and fears reflect what truly happened to an entire generation. Imagine growing up in comfort, safety, and wealth. Imagine never having to worry about food, money, or your future. Imagine living in a large house surrounded by luxury, while outside your walls the world slowly moves toward destruction. This is the world in which Mark Noble grows up. Mark is the son of a powerful industrialist. His father owns factories that produce weapons, ships, and military equipment. When countries prepare for war, the Noble family becomes richer. Their factories work day and night. Trains loaded with weapons leave their grounds constantly. Contracts are signed with governments across Europe. War is good business. As a child, Mark does not question any of this. To him, his father is simply successful and respected. He provides everything. He's admired by politicians and businessmen. People speak his name with pride. Mark grows up believing that this is normal, that wealth and power are signs of success. When the First World War begins, Europe changes overnight. Newspapers are filled with patriotic slogans. Politicians promise glory and honour. Young men march through the streets with music and flags. People believe the war will be short and heroic. Mark believes it too. He is young, energetic, and eager to prove himself. He dreams of wearing a uniform, of being brave, of becoming someone important. He wants to serve his country. He wants to be part of something bigger than himself. But he's too young to join, so he stays home while others leave. He watches his friends disappear one by one. He reads their letters. He follows every battle in the newspapers. He feels useless, left behind, ashamed that he is still safe. Meanwhile, his father becomes busier than ever. The war brings enormous profits. The factories never stop. Workers are hired. Machines run all night. New weapons are designed. Sometimes, the company sells to different sides of the conflict. Business has no borders. Mark begins to notice this. At first, he tries to justify it. He tells himself that weapons are necessary, that soldiers need protection, that his father is helping his country. But slowly doubts appear. He realizes that the weapons his family produces are killing people, boys his age, sons like him, young men with dreams and families. He asks his father questions. Why do we sell to everyone? Why do we never stop? Who is responsible for the deaths? His father answers calmly. He says war will happen anyway. He says someone else would produce weapons if they didn't. He says business is neutral. He says they are not responsible for how products are used. Mark is not satisfied. These answers feel empty. When he finally reaches the right age, Mark immediately enlists. He believes that going to war will give him answers, that he will understand things better from the inside, that he will finally become a man. Reality destroys his illusions. From the moment he arrives near the front, he understands that war is not heroic. It is dirt, fear, hunger, and exhaustion. The trenches are filled with mud and rats. Soldiers are constantly tired. Shells explode day and night. The ground shakes. The air smells of smoke and death. Mark is terrified. He tries not to show it, but inside, he is breaking. He sees wounded soldiers everywhere. Men without legs, without arms, with burned faces, with empty eyes. He sees bodies lying in the mud, sometimes for days. Then he notices something that haunts him. Many of the weapons around him come from his father's factories. He recognizes the designs, the markings, the mechanisms. Every explosion feels personal. Every death feels connected to him. He begins to feel responsible. He thinks about his comfortable home while he sleeps in mud. He thinks about his father's profits while his friends bleed. The guilt grows heavier every day. Mark writes letters home. At first, he hides the truth. He does not want to worry his parents. He describes small victories. He avoids the horrors. But over time, he becomes more honest. He writes about fear, about despair, about how meaningless everything feels. He hints at his doubts about the family business. His father replies politely but emotionally distant. He speaks about duty and honour. He avoids moral questions. This hurts Mark deeply. As months pass, Mark loses friends. Some die suddenly, some slowly, some return home broken. Each loss changes him. The enthusiastic boy disappears. He becomes quiet, thoughtful, older than his years. During a major attack, Mark is badly shaken. Shells fall everywhere. Men scream. The ground collapses. He barely survives. After this, he understands something important. War does not care about courage. It does not reward goodness. It simply destroys. He realizes that ordinary soldiers pay the price for decisions made far away. By politicians, by generals, by businessmen, by people like his father. One cold morning before dawn, another order comes. They must attack, again. Everyone knows what this means. Many will not return. The soldiers prepare in silence, no jokes, no speeches, only fear. Mark thinks about his childhood, about his mother, about his father's office, about the factories. He wonders if he will ever see them again. The signal is given. They climb out of the trench. Instant chaos. Machine guns fire, shells explode, smoke fills the air. Mark runs. He does not think, he only moves. Men fall around him. Suddenly a massive explosion throws him to the ground. He cannot hear. He cannot breathe. Pain spreads through his chest. He looks down. Blood. He understands. He has been hit. He lies in the mud while the battle continues. No one can stop. No one can help. War does not pause. His thoughts become slow. He sees memories. His childhood room. His mother's smile. His father's face. The factory gates. The letters he wrote. The friends he lost. He wonders if his father will finally understand. If he will realize where those weapons lead. Mark feels no pride, no glory, only exhaustion and sadness. His last thought is simple. No one should die for money. No one should die for power. No one should die for lies. Then everything becomes quiet. Mark Noble dies on the battlefield, far from home, far from comfort, far from the people who made this war possible. Weeks later, his family receives a letter, a short official message. Their son has fallen in service of his country. No details, no explanation, just words. His father reads it again and again. At first, he feels nothing, then everything. The machines in his factories keep running. But now, every sound hurts. Every shipment feels like a reminder. Every contract feels like betrayal. He sees the empty chair at the table, the unused bedroom, the silence. For the first time, he understands. Not through numbers, not through reports, but through loss. Mark's death changes him. He begins to question his life, his business, his choices. He realizes that no wealth is worth this price, that no success can replace a child, that no excuse can erase responsibility. Slowly, he starts changing, reducing weapon production, investing elsewhere, supporting veterans, not to erase the past, but to honor his son. This story is not just about one family. It is about all societies that profit from war, about how distance makes violence easier, about how ordinary people become part of destructive systems, about how comfort can hide suffering. But it is also about awareness, about courage, about responsibility. Mark Noble never became a hero in history books. He never received medals. He never gave speeches. But his life and death ask an important question. If your comfort depends on suffering, would you look away, or would you speak up? That question remains. This story was based on the book My Father Makes Weapons by Geert Spillebin, a powerful novel about war, responsibility, and the consequences of our choices. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed this kind of storytelling, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future stories like this. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this story, and I'll see you in the next video.